Put me down! Where are you taking me? Oh, why does it smell like cheese in here? I hate cheese. Wait a minute. Why does a glove smell like cheese? Do you eat cheese? Can you...
The N64 era of 3D platformers all share something in common. They normally chose a new character, something that would preferably stand out and make them the main protagonist. And for some reason, a ton of these early platformers had some eerie, lonely areas at some points. There's one 3D platformer of this era with a character that stood out for the sheer creativity of it, and that was Glover. Glover is a 3D platformer. Kind of. Where you play as a glove. That's right. Definitely a fun concept right off the bat. I mean, traversing a world as a glove? Fun! Glover released in 1998, developed by Interactive Studios and published by Hasbro for the Nintendo 64. The game is centered around everybody's favorite mitten, Glover, the four-fingered protagonist who's out on a journey to save the wizard, I think. We're not going to waste a lot of time here for the story because I don't really know a whole lot of what's going on. It opens with a wizard doing wizard stuff. Wizard falls to the floor after something goes wrong. Save wizard, I think. It's probably an easy story, but you know me. I'm not here for the story, so I didn't really pay attention. I just saw gloves doing funny glove things. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time here, so let's jump right into the controls. So you're on a quest to save the wizard, I think. How are you going to traverse? So here we got Glover. This little guy can jump, double jump, crawl, somersault, and ground pound. A relatively simple moveset for a 3D platformer, but this is only the beginning. The most important part of your moveset comes from the ball. The ball allows you to bounce, toss, swap to a different ball, hit, and run on the ball. Now, those moves themselves, fine. Fine overall. A neat platformer with a neat little twist. But that's not the case here. The controls work against you in any way they can, making this one of the most frustrating to control 3D platformers I've ever played. And I've played Balan Wonderworld. Ugh. Is my head getting bigger? Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Okay, Tyler, why is it so bad? Well, one of the most important things is how a game teaches you how to play. Most games have tutorials, and Glover's no different. Only this time, I must be a game journalist because this tutorial sucked! 1, there's way too much reading. If this was aimed at younger audiences, you know they're not going to read this. It's just how it works. And on the terms of younger audiences, I'm not playing a platformer to read. So, read is not what I did. I just figured it out on my own. And that sucked! Honestly, the moveset has all the right ideas, but it's executed very poorly. That's going to be a common theme here. The ideas are there, they're just a tad off. For example, when you run on the ball, why are your controls inverted? I mean, I get it. It inverts because you gotta run backwards to keep the ball rolling forward. But it's a video game about a glove saving a wizard. No need to bring logic or realistic stuff in here. No, just let me move forward with the joystick rather than pull backwards. And that might be just my own little nitpick, but I think other people have that issue too. Also, why can't you cancel a toss or a throw? That became problematic multiple times through my playthrough. But hey, maybe the moveset was designed around the level design, because a bad moveset can be redeemed if the level design focuses around it. So, how about the level design? So, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, because Glover has some of the best levels I've seen designed around a character's moves. And it also has some of the worst. Now, before I continue, I did not beat this game. I got way too frustrated, so who knows? The level design might get better. I've played until the Carnival levels, and from what I've played, I had a ton of fun. Sometimes. And I almost punched a hole through my laptop the other times. Okay, so let's start off with the good. The good here is as you go, you begin to perfect the moveset. Things like bouncing the ball start to feel good. But on the other hand, the enemies just aren't fun to deal with. Sometimes you have to slap the ball at them, sometimes you have to ground pound on them, or toss something at them, and it's just extremely unclear on how to kill them. But some of the levels have really neat mechanics and show off some fun sections. On the other hand, others are very unclear about where to go. See, for every win this game has, a loss wiggles its way in there. But I will say the presentation here is pretty good. We got good music, great ideas, creative characters, and cool locations. Glover isn't missing anything in the creative department. I just wish I could say the same about the gameplay. So, the real question here is, do I recommend Glover? Well, kind of, yeah. I know I just hated on it a ton, but it's a one-of-a-kind experience with creative ideas that you won't see anywhere else. The ball mechanic is pretty neat. Don't buy it at more than $20 though. Wait for it to go on sale. This game is fun for a tad bit, but not fun to justify a $20 price point. So, next comes the most important question. Why am I talking about Glover now? Well, is it because this is one of the most overproduced video games? You know, one of those games that if you had a Nintendo 64, one of these copies probably snuck its way into your house? Or is it because Glover, the 1998 decent platformer about an optional article of clothing, just got re-released on Steam 20 years later? No, neither of those. I'm playing Glover because, well, someone out there, and you know who you are, wanted to put me through the torture that Glover really was. And the whole time I was trying to decide, is this game good or is this game bad? I'm gonna isolate my audience for just a tad second here. This isn't meant for everybody watching. Just a certain somebody. Focus in on my eyes. I know you're watching and you know that I'm talking right to you at this very moment. Glover was an experience, and I can't tell you if it was a good one or a bad one. I'm sitting here the whole time questioning, was this all set up? Giving me sleepless nights trying to decide how on earth I'm gonna review this game, because while I'm writing, I was stuck in the mindset of I want this game to be good, but I just can't tell. Playing through it was an interesting experience, but you know, I just can't decide anymore. Some of those levels were borderline torture. Glover had some very agonizing moments, but on the other hand, it had some great moments. And I'm just lost. I just can't figure it out. You drove me insane. Making me play Glover drove me to the point of insanity. I'm this close to snapping. The sound Glover makes when you lose the ball, though, is kind of funny.